In the first fight of the night, we got Carli Judice taking on Nicolle Calvario, and Carli Judice had an amazing night. The last time she stepped into the octagon, she got her first UFC win. She got a highlight reel knockout and a $50,000 bonus for less than 2 minutes of work. So Judice fought Unice Dubin, who had a kind of a hype train going following a big underdog knockout on Contender Series, but Judice shut down that momentum and turned the lights out with a beautiful head kick of her own. And prior to that fight with Dubin, Judice had gone 0-2 in UFC competitions. She lost on the Contender Series. She lost her UFC debut, but both losses were split decisions. And at 26 years old, Judice has an opportunity to make a run to the top of the division, but she can't slip on a banana peel here versus Calvario. She needs to get the win, look good. For Nicolle Calvario, second fight for her in the UFC, she lost a split decision in her debut, which was January 11th of this year. And she had won 4 in a row and won on Contender Series to earn a UFC contract previous to that. She was looking really impressive because she hadn't just won those 4 fights, but she finished all 4 of her opponents during that run. And her win on the Contender Series was a first-round submission. And her debut, she came up a little short. It was kind of it was a competitive fight, but I felt like Calvario clearly lost. But she's 28, so she's right around her prime. And I feel like this is a good matchup for both girls. But the first thing that pops off the page when you see these two is the size difference. Carli Judice has 4 inches in height. She has 6 inches in reach on Calvario. And Calvario has also had fights at 115, whereas Judice has fought at 135 before, and they're meeting in the middle at 125. But Judice, good striker, southpaw, tall, mobile, athletic, long, high volume. She has the knockout threat, obviously. All her wins are finishes. And at range, she works her kicks really well. She'll counter with her hands, good head movement, nice jabs, nice lead hooks, nice straight and overhand lefts. She'll throw knees up the middle. Her Muay Thai is pretty good. Good elbows in the clinch. And pressuring Judice, forcing a brawl, or kind of using pressure or feints to draw out shots and then countering is what I think is the way to go. We saw Karakite really push a crazy pace on Carli Judice on Contender Series, and the pressure nullified the kicks of Judice mostly and turned her into a boxer, where Karakite was able to walk through Judice's punches. Judice isn't a light puncher, but she definitely doesn't have a ton of power in her hands. And she has a chin. She could eat shots and come back with her own, and she's throwing in combination. And her kicks, her knees, really her lower body is what you have to be more worried about from a knockout perspective. But as the fight goes on, Judice's volume stays the same. Her opponent's does not, and she could start to take over. So once you slow down, she is going to push the pace and try to take you out. We saw her absorb big bombs from Gabriela Fernandez, who's one of the heaviest hitters in the weight division. She knocked out Kong Wang, but Judice was able to absorb those big shots. She lost the first 2 rounds, but she came back, dominated the third. So I feel like she is a very good striker. And her wrestling grappling is unknown, really. Her footwork is on point. She'll threaten knees when fighters shoot. Solid balance. So if you get in on her legs, you probably have to chain wrestle or push her to the fence to finish the takedown. And she's won some Naga tournaments, so she has some jiu-jitsu, but we just haven't seen it in MMA yet. She did get her kick caught and cage wrestled a little bit versus Gabriela Fernandez, but didn't get controlled for long or taken down. And she even did a takedown of her own in that Fernandez fight, but the round ended really quickly after she got on top. But so we just don't really know about her grappling in terms of MMA, and it's going to be interesting. In this fight, I think that she wants to completely try to avoid grappling with Calvario. But Calvario, she's a finisher just like Judice. She has 8 wins, 8 finishes, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. And it's rare you see a matchup between 2 fighters in the UFC where both fighters have a 100% finish rate in general, and even more rare in women's MMA. So that shows you how this is a pretty fun matchup. But Calvario, 0-2 in decisions. So if this fight hits the scorecard, someone's O has to go in that regard. But one thing Calvario has in spades over Judice is experience. She's been a pro fighter for 10 plus years. She had some kickboxing matches as well. Should have seen some southpaws, maybe some tall fighters before, so it's not going to be totally foreign for her. And she's a bit of a brawler. She has a long bladed stance. She tries to explode in and out. She'll throw big hooks. But her striking is a means to an end to close the distance, clinch you, and try to get her grappling going. She uses a ton of big actions, and she's uncomfortable versus effective pressure, which when you're fighting Carli Judice, I don't think that's something that's going to be the greatest for you. And she will wear down with all the big movements, probably run into something big that hurts her or takes her out if she does struggle to get the takedown or can't finish early. She did fight someone who's similar to Judice in her last fight, so it was good experience. And she was landing some big right hands, some leg kicks early, but I just feel like overall, if this fight stays standing, it's going to be a major advantage for Judice. And when Calvario can get clinched up, she is strong. She can body lock you. She has good timing on the doubles, nice judo. She'll jump on submissions. She had a nice armbar in Contender Series, and her last 3 wins in a row are all submission wins. She's by far the best grappler that Judice will have faced in MMA, so I think that it's imperative for her to try to test Judice's grappling. If she can't get it to the ground, which I think it will be kind of hard for her, it could get ugly, but I actually was kind of impressed with her last fight. She was able to go 3 rounds with Ernesta Karakite, who even got Carli Judice tired. And she slowed down, but she was still fairly competitive in the third. I expected her cardio to kind of be a little bit worse than it was. But ultimately, man, I just think that Judice here is going to be too big, too athletic, and I don't think she's going to let Calvario out-grapple her, take her down, or submit her early. And I just feel like she's going to continue to walk down Calvario. She has more weapons, and she either is going to win a decision, or I think she's going to win in second or third round with the KO TKO. So give me Carli Judice for the win in this matchup.